Necrophonic is a spirit box application for both Android and iOS devices that allows the user to use a sound bank and etc. to create a portal to communicate with entities and/or ghosts. Necrophonic is the ideal tool for anyone who is interested in the paranormal or who is simply curious to learn more about the technology being used by ghost hunters. Horror Facts initially wrote about the spirit communication application Necrophonic for mobile devices 3 months ago, where we tested the Spirit Box app Necrophonic on our Android device, after seeing it being used by various social media influencers like Omar Gosh TV. Since using the application various times, we have had some apparent communication happen, where a seemingly intelligent response has been given a few times now. After attempting communication in various locations, and getting some responses back that seemed to be audible smart answers to questions spoken aloud, such as "Who is here with us?" The Necrophonic application, after a short duration of about 6 seconds, responded, "I am." I then asked them, "What is your name?" It responded really quickly this time, and said it 3 times in 3 different voices, Kings, which ironically is a known family name of the location, that was being used to attempt to communicate through the ghost hunting tool. This sent shivers up our spines. We weren't sure what to make of this response, so we started asking additional questions about the Kings, and their link to the place, as soon as we could after hearing it. We questioned the entity about why it was choosing to communicate in that manner, what it meant when it said Kings, and why it kept repeating the term Kings. In spite of the fact that we made a number of attempts to get a response from the entity, it remained silent. After this event of interaction occurred through the application and further testing, some other responses were made to questions about how many of you are there, with responses coming in the form of many different voices and answers, but still clear numbers, such as the response from Necrophonic Spirit Box saying there are 3 here followed by 4 and 7. We wanted to know exactly how this could be possible, and if we had been able to communicate with the other side by using this simple phone app. We started to wonder how many voices we were truly communicating with, and we came up with the theory that maybe what we were hearing wasn't so much the voices of individual spirits as a unified energy. The theory behind the use of a spirit box to make contact with the other side is that these devices, in general, generate a waveform or a radio wave that is scanning in and out through the channels at a rapid or semi-rapid speed, producing a sort of white noise. These devices can also be used to record electronic voice phenomena, EVP, but not in the same way. Instead of playing back audio, this is meant to get a response that is audible right in the moment of using the system. After that, the user is responsible for paying great attention to the spirit box in order to detect any kind of response and effectively interpreting it. According to the prevalent ideology, the fact that the spirit box is capable of producing a diverse number of frequencies and channels in a relatively short amount of time makes it more likely to attract spiritual energy and make contact with a spirit who is able to communicate through it. If you're new to the world of communicating with ghosts or the paraphysics that purportedly back the principles behind the recent surge in communication with the dead or otherworldly beings, you'll probably want to call BS on this. Please don't shoot the messenger. All we're doing is conveying the findings of the study that was conducted in order to create this piece. In spite of this, it is essential to point out that the research was extremely exhaustive and built on previous studies from a wide range of disciplines, including psychology and parapsychology. It is difficult to convince an audience that is already predisposed to being skeptical of the legitimacy of these findings, despite this supposedly well-rounded approach. Having said all of that, in order to communicate with a spirit box using the pseudoscience that is required, you will need the following items. To begin, you will need the Necrophonic app as well as a device that is either Android or Apple-based in order to use the software. The next step is to prepare a space for the spirit box session, either in your own house or some other venue of your choosing. After these items have been put in place, it is time to start attempting communication. A haunted location someplace in the world that is thought to be home to a genuine active entity. A field of energy such as the radio that moves through channels, emitters, and other such things. The app has a white noise feature. A place where there is no noise and you can be incredibly focused while still readily expressing your intention. Lots of luck. Getting a spirit to communicate does not always happen. It might not hurt to believe in what you are going to venture into, as reportedly it promotes communication. However, this is something that has yet to be verified. Since I approached using the Necrophonic application with skepticism, I should clarify that I am not a ghost hunter or a paranormal investigator. Rather, I am just a person who is curious about the idea of communicating with the dead or with those who cannot be seen. I have to admit, I was pleasantly surprised by the white noise option in Necrophonic. Not only did it help me focus better, but it also seemed to create a more intense and connected atmosphere for me to reach out to the other side. I was impressed with how this feature alone was enough to help me feel more connected to my intention of communicating with entities beyond our world. While I understand that using the Necrophonic application doesn't come with a guarantee of a successful paranormal experience, I can say that it definitely provides a solid foundation for anyone who wants to dabble in the world of spirits. The combination of the sound bank, ITC technology, and the white noise option makes for a powerful tool, and it's not an expensive one. Reaching out to the other side is not a foolproof process. There are many variables at play, and the outcome of your experience will depend on a number of factors, including your level of openness, focus, and intent. Now that you are aware of what is required to carry out a conventional Spirit Box conversation, allow me to explain the benefits of using the Spirit Box app. The futuristic application known as Necrophonic is a form of interfacing with radio waves that goes above and beyond the conventional means of doing so. Almost all modern mobile devices have a gyroscope and the capacity to read EMF electromagnetic fields. This technology works in a manner that is analogous to how your phone can tell which way you are pointing while you are using a map or GPS application on it. When the technology is combined, it creates an application layer used in ghost hunting known as instrumental transcommunication, ITC, in which your phone acts as an energy generation device that surpasses the traditional radio wave by combining the energy created by your device overall through its radio waves, GPS, gyroscope, and the general magnetic field in the area. Furthermore, in the Necrophonic Spirit Box app, instead of relying on random sounds of static to detect ghosts, it uses the energy generated by your device overall. Because of the way in which this procedure builds a connection between the energy in the environment and what is being generated from your equipment, it results in a higher degree of precision when attempting to detect spirits. As a direct consequence of this, the Necrophonic Spirit Box app is in a position to detect the existence of ghosts and communicate with them using ITC in a more precise manner. Additionally, Necrophonic makes use of the DR60 sound bank, which can be thought of as the noises contained within a spirit box. You have the option of purchasing a completely software-driven spirit box in the form of Necrophonic rather than shelling out hundreds of dollars for a piece of hardware that supports the gadget. You save a significant amount of money by employing the software version, because you get access to the same sound bank that is present in the most expensive hardware spirit boxes for a price that is only a fraction of the original cost, which makes the application significantly more reasonable. Not to mention the fact that the software can be installed on any contemporary mobile device, such as an Android or iPhone, transforming the Spirit Box into a pocket-sized device that is completely transportable. Necrophonic is a well-liked option among a significant number of people who study the supernatural due to the fact that it is not only simple to obtain, but also quite affordable. If you are still reading this at this point, then you are clearly interested in the technology used to interact with the spirit world through these ghost hunting tools that are readily available through your mobile device. Is the app real? We don't know. Did we have interactions? Yes. The bottom line is that there is something that causes the program to develop intelligent responses to inquiries. The question is whether or not trigger words caused by our microphone are the source. It's possible, but it's also possible that it isn't, because we have used the application in areas with no Wi-Fi or mobile service, and we have still received responses. This uncertainty and ambiguity is part of the charm for many of its users, who delight in the mysteriousness of it all. It's up to you to decide if you believe this or not, but as always, if you decide to try out this app or any other method of communicating with spirits, it's important to remember that even though the price of the software is much lower than that of a spirit box, there are still risks involved with doing so. Some users have described feeling unsettled or worried after using Necrophonic, while others have claimed feeling physically tired and even a touch unwell after prolonged use. Despite the risks, Necrophonic has remained a popular alternative for individuals seeking to explore the otherworldly world. Many of our site's users have now contacted us to tell us how much they enjoyed the post and how their own experiences have gone. This is what some of our readers had to say about their experiences with the Necrophonic app. It is legitimate. I received messages from deceased members of my family, but evil also attempted to insert itself into the conversation. If you intend to use it, you should definitely equip yourself beforehand with holy protection. I will no longer utilize it, at least for the foreseeable future. I am certain that my late grandfather Dewey survived, and I am almost certain that I heard him begging me not to use this mobile app. You take a danger that I was unable to comprehend, but I'll agree with his request nevertheless. It has reached disturbing levels. Rick Murphy. While the Necrophonic app has surely offered me with some interesting and valuable insights, I must confess that it has also made me feel uneasy. This is despite the fact that I have gained some valuable and new insights from it. John Hamish. Horror Facts user responses. Have you ever utilized this app to establish contact with the other side? Have you achieved any success with audible responses? If so, please get in touch with us and tell us your tale. Be sure to keep checking back on the site as we post more updates on our experiences with the Necrophonic app and other paranormal ghost hunting apps for your mobile device.